So tell me, what is your idea of a dream job? How'd you like to make $174,000 a year, which equates to $3,346 a week, for a part-time job where you've got every likelihood of becoming a multimillionaire, and you don't even have to tell the people you work for where the money came from? Now throw in the fact that you get free travel, you get trips all over the world, you get benefits that most people haven't heard of because there are things that come in under the table that no one talks about. Now imagine you have that job, making that kind of money, and you can completely let down your employer, and that employer runs out there to defend you, make excuses for it, and pretend that it never even happened. That has got to be the greatest job on the planet. And right now, what we're talking about is Congress. But actually, it applies to the Republican Party in general. Of course, they're not all making that kind of money, but they're all failing and they're all getting protected while they do it. Why is that? This disaster we just had in the election, of course, we know everyone is talking about Mondami, but Mondami is not the only one. Most people don't seem to dig into these things very far, so I'll tell you, for those of my friends that are informed, please bear with me a minute. I know you're already aware of this, but the people that just listen to like Fox News or Sean Hannity or the talking heads on the radio, they're not aware of all this. Here's the truth about what just happened. We know that Virginia and New Jersey went to Democrat governors. Everyone's trying to act like those elections are the only things that happen. First of all, the governor margins in those two states, they were supposed to be close. The Republicans performed horribly. The Republican Party is not doing well. They're not holding up their end. If they can't win minor elections while Trump is in the White House, what is that bunch of coattail cowboys going to do after he's gone? We got to remember, Trump is only temporary. We are not winning right now. The only successes that we've really had are almost 100% because of Trump executive orders. What is Congress doing for us? What are the Republicans doing for us? They're not doing anything. They're sitting back riding Trump's coattails. They are coattail cowboys. And they're making a lot of money, and they get protected by conservative voters when they fail. This debacle that just occurred in the election on Tuesday, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened on the scale that it did. What people don't realize, across the country, there were all sorts of different elections for all kinds of state level seats. Everything from energy commissions to replacing officials that, had died or whatever in office. But there were a lot of different elections, and the Democrats powerhoused those elections. And it wasn't just the blue states. It wasn't just New York City, New Jersey, and Virginia. I've said from the start that I will unapologetically make every episode something for the informed and the intelligent people. I know there's a lot of conservatives that just want to play the party game, or they just want to regurgitate what they heard in media. Those kind of people aren't really going to enjoy this show because I bring the truth. Everything is according to the Constitution and the truth. That's the only things we should be looking at as Americans. And I'll guarantee you, people from the sheep herd aren't going to like it. And unfortunately, there's a sheep herd on both sides. This program is for the intelligent thinkers that can process thoughts on their own and not just regurgitate what they hear somewhere. These are the people that are going to save our country. But New York, Virginia, and New Jersey have all had Republican officials before. They've had Republican governors. It seems like once the Republicans lose a state, they write it off. Well, that's it. It's blue. We don't have a chance. Let's just walk away. Where is the fight from the GOP? Where is the fight? Why are people explaining it away like, oh, that's no big deal. We don't care. Screw them. Let New York City die. Well, New York City, it has about 40% really good conservative people. It is the financial powerhouse of the world. It matters. You can't just dismiss it, relabel it, and pretend that it doesn't matter. Every election matters. I don't know of any kind of contest. I don't care if it's friends playing chess on a park bench, if it's business, if it's sport. I don't know of any other kind of contest where the losing side says, oh, well, it doesn't even matter. We're going to win next time. They're just stupid. They're just stupid. They're all queers. Oh, well, we don't even care if they won. Nobody does that. How in the hell do Republicans expect to win fights they don't even show up for? You've got to have a ground game. You can't just sit, let it happen, lose, and then say, well, it didn't matter anyway. Unless maybe it really doesn't matter to you. Is the patriotic ambition gone from the right? Where is the ground game? We are supposed to be taking our country back right now. That was the goal. That's why we elected Trump. But as soon as Trump got into office, all of a sudden the Republicans in Congress and a lot of other positions of government just laid back and let it ride. Thank God he got some good cabinet appointees. Marco Rubio is probably the best Secretary of State we've ever had. Christian Noem's doing a good job. You know, there's a lot of people in there. Tom Homan, you gotta love that guy. Tulsi Gabbard, she's straight up. Hegseth is doing a great job. Bondi, of course, Bondi is asleep at the desk. I don't know why Trump is tolerating her. She should have already been gone. Nancy Pelosi is retiring. Nancy Pelosi, Fauci, these people are not getting charged with anything. The entire Biden family. Pam Bondi has gone to sleep. So what are these Republicans doing? Why aren't Republican congressmen outraged? Why aren't any Republican officials outraged? I would bet you right now 95% of conservative voters could not even tell you who this man is. This guy in this picture right here, the job is his. He's the one that should be out there stirring all this stuff up, organizing these fights, getting the ground game together. His name is Joe Gruters. He's the chairman of the RNC. He's in charge of the Republican Party, and nobody even knows who the hell this sleeping gnome is. The guy isn't doing anything. One of the reasons that, and no one wants to talk about this, one of the reasons the Democrats did do so well across the country, not just in their blue states, they had a lot of wins in red states. Of course, Hannity isn't going to tell you that. No, they're trying to make it, everyone is trying to make it look like, oh, it's just a couple Democrat strongholds. We expected to lose them. We don't care. When we lose something once, we don't expect to get it back. We're supposed to be fighting for it. But the people in the right-wing media are playing it down instead of warning of the dangers because we have midterms coming and nothing is being done. We just got our bellwether. We just had our indication about where the conservative side stands in the political realm of today. Trump is alone. Trump is almost 100% alone. We've got a couple of good congressmen that are backing him. They don't have the power by themselves. They need the whole GOP Congress behind them. Government's been shut down for over 35 days now. They should have used the nuclear option already, but they choose the pussy route, just like they always do. Oh, we can't do that. Someday the Democrats are going to be in charge, and they'll come back and they'll hurt us. I'm too scared. No. And what gets me about it, there are so many conservative voters that say, oh, those Republicans are a bunch of pansies. They're spineless cowards. They don't fight. And then when a situation like this comes up, where the Republicans should be fighting and they refuse to, they won't say anything bad about the Republicans. They start, instead of saying, yeah, you spineless pussies, get out there. No, they start defending them for not doing it. Oh, wait a minute. They use the excuses that are fed to them from the party through right-wing media. The GOP politicians are cowards because that is what too many conservatives support. They're supporting and defending the cowards. They're supporting and defending the people who are not getting the job done. They're supporting and defending the people who are not backing President Trump. They walk out to a microphone and they talk about how they're backing him. There is no action. There is no ground game from the Republican Party. The Democrats had a ground game. This is what people better realize. Like I say, this is an indication of where conservatives stand right now in the political realm, in the contest across the country. We just got a little sneak peek. We got a cheater look because we're headed for these midterms. And right now, the job is not getting done. They're not closing the deal. Where is the fight? We want fight. That's why we hired Trump. Instead, the entire Republican Party and unfortunately, way too many conservative voters are sitting on their dead asses saying, Trump can do it. He can do it all. We didn't hire a messiah. We hired a leader. And this is a problem of Trump. Trump does what he can with what he's got and the skill sets that he brings to it. But you've got to remember, he was a titan of an industry, okay? He's a real estate titan. He is used to being the top dog that does everything, and everything that happens is due to him. He is not used to telling a national network of people, you have to be active. But that is how our system is designed. That is why we have the Bill of Rights. That is why we got all of those rights for protest, freedom of speech, redressing government for grievances. That's why we got all that. We're supposed to be active. It's not enough to be vigilant if you just sit on your butt, if you just type out a couple things in Facebook and then change channels and watch something else. No, we're supposed to be active. And the Democrats are kicking our asses on the active side. They've got their own brand of it. People laugh at it, but it worked for them. It didn't just work in 3 blue states, it worked across the country in a multitude of races. There's a lot of seats lost by Republicans in this. They all matter. We're supposed to be winning our nation back, not losing it by larger margins. And that is what just happened. And the Republicans are not holding up their end of the job. They are champions of second place. Every time they get the lead, they tell us, oh, give us the power. We're going to do this, this, and this. We gave it to them. They've got Congress. They've got the White House. And the Democrats can shut government down and the Republicans do nothing about it? How come the Democrats have more power when they're not in office than these damn Republicans do when they're in office? Grow a spine and use the nuclear option. And all these pansy ass conservatives out in the hinterland screaming, oh no, maybe the Democrats will hurt us later. What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to appreciate the fact that, oh, they'll remember, oh, they didn't use the nuclear option. I'm going to be nice to them. No, they're going to cut you off at your knees the first chance they get. Trying to be nice to them now, it's just sissy business. It's stupid. It's people who don't want to fight. You go ahead and you nuke the bastards. They get back up, knock them down again. You don't run and hide because you're afraid someday they might get mad at me. They hate you. They want to destroy your country. Of course they're going to be mad at you. And it's got nothing to do with whether or not you use the nuclear option to do the right thing now. Trump has been trying to get them to do it for 2 weeks. And all these conservative congressmen, oh, I support Trump. No, you don't, because you're not doing that. They're not doing anything. What are the Republicans doing? Nobody is getting prosecuted, no big shots. I've had people tell me, well, look at Bolton and Comey and Letitia James. Yeah, you've got ancillary figures. They're outside. They are not key Democrats. What about Fauci? This guy has the highest pension ever awarded by a government. He is getting rich in retirement, living like a friggin' king, and he's got blood on his hands. He has dead people stacked behind him. Nothing is happening. We know about all the crime. Nothing is getting prosecuted. If the Republicans cannot succeed now while they have Trump in office, they're going to get their asses handed to him the minute Trump is out, just like they did with Biden. Don't people learn from anything? Don't these Republican supporters that are making excuses for him, don't they see? We just had a perfect example of what happens when Trump is out of office. We are left with nothing but these pansy Republicans. These do-nothing Republicans that you are making excuses for right now. For God's sakes, you got to stop that. Hey, I'd like to remind you right now, I don't know if you're familiar with us, if you're new to us, But I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. We're a new channel. Moved everything over here from our old formats. This is just what we're focusing on because this is a lot of work. It really is. Anyway, appreciate you being here. If you want to help us grow, please hit like, subscribe, and most of all, the comments are really important too. Give us your feedback. Thanks. All my friends out there that get this, God love you. I've seen a lot of people talking about this and trying to get it through, and I know the arguments you run into. I've seen it. They all use the same thing. Oh, it's just a couple blue states. They're stupid. Talk to these people. Talk sense into them. They just don't know the big picture. They're just listening to whatever GOP media, that is party media, like Fox News, Mark Levin on the radio, all these, Greg Kelly on the radio, they're all doing it because remember, they are party first, truth second. There is no fight in the GOP because there are too many conservative voters who don't demand a fight. Well, I demand a fight. A lot of my friends demand a fight. We need the rest of you people out there demanding a fight. We have got to change some of these things. Whatever happened, they promised us that if they got power, they were going to fight to get paper ballots and voter ID nationwide. They're not even talking about that now. What did they do for a get out the vote campaign? The Democrats won because of no kings. Don't you see that? No kings is the Democrat get out the vote. It builds momentum and impetus. It is the Democrat Tea Party. We know the Tea Party works. We did it. But the Republicans shut it down as soon as we got through those midterms in 2010 because there were so many people fed up with them. They were talking about starting a new party called the Tea Party. So the Republicans, including Jim Jordan, Ron DeSantis, they were key figures in shutting down the Tea Party. A lot of people don't know that because right-wing media is not going to tell you. Remember, they are party first, truth, Constitution, and country second. Yes, they love our country. Yes, they love our Constitution, unless that stuff gets in their way, because it's party first. So we're not getting any paper ballots, are we? We don't have a get out the vote push, do we? The Democrats organize that coast to coast through over 80 different organizations combined to get out the vote through the No Kings. The Republicans are doing nothing. There aren't even any rallies. Tell me where there was a rally. Tell me where there is a rally today or scheduled in the future for getting out the vote. It doesn't exist. The Republicans are doing nothing. Congress is doing nothing. The Republican Congress is happy this is shut down right now. I'll tell you how bad this Republican Congress is. A lot of people don't realize when Nancy scumbag Pelosi was over there in Luxembourg last spring, remember, everyone said she was drunk, which she probably was, but she tumbled down the granite stairs, broke her hip. They had to take her into Germany and get her a hip replacement. She was over there on what we used to call a junket. It was a trip. I believe there was 18 different congressmen that had gotten together. Half of them were Republicans. You don't see these things. The only reason we even heard about that trip was because Pelosi fell and got hurt and had to delay her return. They were going to get it in right under the radar. They do this all the time. You have no idea of the trips and dinners these people have together. Social gatherings, vacation trips. This picture right here, the guy holding Pelosi's hand, they tried to excuse it later. Said, well, she'd fallen and he was just giving her support. No, after she fell, she was in the damn hospital. I heard people on the radio host saying, yeah, he held her hand, but he was giving her support because she'd been injured. Hell no, she got her hip replaced. She wasn't standing out there. This was before she got hurt. That man holding her hand is a 20-year congressman from Texas, a Republican congressman, House District number 10. His name is Michael McCall. At that time, he was chairman of the Foreign Services Committee. Holding hands. There were 10 Democrats standing right there. Any one of them could have been with Pelosi holding her hand. He could have just stood by her. They were holding hands and they were both all smiles. Don't you see what is going on behind the scenes? They try to hide all this stuff, but the Republicans aren't really fighting the Democrats. You've got to understand this. That's why there is no paper ballot and national ID requirement. Yes, the states get to pick a lot of the rules, but there is no national Republican drive to get the states to do this. Nothing is happening. Trump has his own victories. Republicans are delivering nothing. What are they doing about Islam? Islam is an incredible danger. It's taken over. We've got cities that are starting to fall, looking like the European cities that have already fallen, like Paris. It's an awful mess. They've got districts where they have Muslim policemen now in Sharia law. We've got it in Dearborn. We've got it in Minneapolis. Now we've got it in New York. Well, we've had it. But it's growing and there's nothing being done. Republicans are not opposing Islam. They have not closed the Department of Education. A lot of them campaigned on that, including Trump. Now they cut some of the funding, they cut some of the staff. That doesn't matter. The next Democrat, and there will be another Democrat. There always is. All my life I've heard over and over, oh, the Democrats are finished. Oh, they'll never have another. Oh, the Republicans are finished. They'll never get the White House again. They always say this. And they always come back. Both of them do. As soon as someone else comes in, they can throw all the money back into the Department of Education and blow it right back up. But why isn't anybody working to get socialism out of our schools? Why aren't they trying to get these crooked unions out of our schools? We know they're wrecking generations of children. There is nothing being done. The Republicans aren't doing anything about it. They aren't doing anything about the campaign promises. What are the Republicans doing? They're happy it's shut down because their incompetence isn't displayed daily. Although these press conferences they have with Speaker Little Johnson, they are pathetic embarrassments. They get up there every day and say the same things. And Johnson gets up there in that clear monotone speaking voice of his. Well, we think that this is a Democrat shutdown, and we demand, I say we demand, that they open it back up. This is a bipartisan commission here. We got to do something. We need a bipartisan effort. This is a bipartisan legislative body, and by golly, we need to have the country running for the American people so we can do the job of the Americans. The guy's just a pathetic embarrassment. And then he's got his cast of clowns up there behind him, and they're all looking serious. And the problem is, they look like the worst description of Republicans is always described as. It's a bunch of stone-faced white guys standing up there in monotone, being boring as hell, saying nothing. It's just platitudes and repeating themselves. It's embarrassing. This Republican Party is not serving us. We need to replace this party, but there's too many Kool-Aid drinkers that listen to everything media tells them, which is the whole purpose of this damn video. The only reason that this video is even necessary is because people are misled right now so badly about what happened in the elections because of Republican failures. The Republican Party is not representing the patriots, the constitutionalists of our nation. They're not doing it. They're not representing the constitutionalists and the patriots of our nation. They're not representing the families. They're not doing anything for us. If they can't do anything with Trump in office, then we are doomed when he's out. But it's our job to make them do it. There is no activism on the right. There is no ground game. The Democrats can put 5 million people in the street on a weekend. They used to laugh at the Tea Party. We kicked their asses. We turned over 20, 25 seats in the House because we did it better than they did. When we finally dialed in, we blew away anything they've ever done. Because the truth is, we've got the numbers and they don't. They've got a bunch of kooks. We know that. But they get their kooks out to vote. Republican numbers were dismal in these elections. Republicans did not turn out. There's a very low percentage of Republican voters that showed up to vote because there is no get out to vote. There is no drive. Joe Gooders, what the hell is he doing? He's running the RNC, and you didn't even know it. Nobody is doing anything. They are leaving Trump out there. If you remember the movie Serpico, you know, the New York cop that had all the dirty cops in his precinct, and he's trying to fight all these badass drug gangsters. Remember that? Okay, in the final scene, he's out there, and he gets in a real dangerous situation. And all those cops that are around him, they've all decided, okay, we're going to be straight. We're going to back you because he's been fighting the corruption for so long. We're going to back you. And when he got his foot stuck in the door, they just stood there, let him fight on his own, and they shot him. The bad guys shot him through the door. That's what's happened to Trump. He's getting the Serpico treatment from the Republican Party. He goes out there and he puts up the fight, and he sticks out there and he takes all the bullets. I mean, my God, look what they put that man and his family through. And the Republicans hide back behind him. Oh, we got your back. We got your back. We're right back here, you know, on the other side of the room behind the curtain, pissing down our own legs. Yeah, we got your back. Meanwhile, he stands up front, and the Democrats just assail him viciously, and nobody really has his back. They don't have our back. They don't support their own voters. They don't even try. What are they doing? Remember this. Nothing is happening about Islam. Nothing is happening about paper ballots. Nothing is happening about Fauci. Nothing is happening about closing the Department of Education. Nothing is happening about getting socialism out of schools. Nothing is happening about getting the unions, the horrible, severe left-wing Democrat teachers unions, out of our education system. Nothing is being done to cut off federal money to the rest of the damn universities that are so horribly converted into misinformation mills for youth. Nothing is being done. All of the things that we know we need so we can take back this country are not happening. Islam is growing. Everything is, and this is while Trump is in office with the GOP Congress. These people are growing while we have the power. We are done when they have the power again, and they are going to get it because right now, the Republicans are always best at second place. When they're in second place, they promise and they beg dollars, and that's the only thing they do well. That's the only thing they do consistently. Consistently is to beg donations, and then they never produce. Get me in power, and by God, we're going to kick some ass. We're going to take this country back. Woo, woo, woo. And they get in power, and it's like, well, we can't do anything because the Democrats won't let us. We're afraid. We can't use the nuclear option because we're a bunch of stupid sissies, and we want our voters to be stupid sissies too. So you believe us when we say we're scared to do it. This is pathetic. I did not sign up for this Republican Party. I quit registering as a Republican years ago. But we're stuck with them because there's too many voters that just don't care. They're just hoping they can pass this crap on to their kids. But right now, don't be fooled. The Democrats are working a lot harder than Republicans. We got to get these Republicans to wake up, get their asses in gear, start supporting Trump, and start fulfilling the promises they made to the voters that put them in office. We've got to get this right, my friends. And if we do, maybe God will continue to bless this great country of ours. Thanks for listening.